Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Aaron Trevino here, and we have a wonderful guest from here in Austin, Texas. We have Christina Suarez. She is a title specialist. What's going on, Christina?
Hello, hello, Erin. It's good to be here. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to teach a little, learn a little, and see what other ideas are out there.
Absolutely. I know we kind of spoke a bit earlier, a bit about title, and I'm always interested in learning more about title because it is pretty vast. It is an interesting aspect of real estate, and I'm really glad that you're on the show to break it down for us.
Thank you. Thank you. So awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen and go over a couple different things about me. Did it work?
Yes, it
Yay.
did.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, cool. So like you had said, my name is Christina Suarez. I am a business development specialist for Netco Title, which is a national company. And how I got to this role. So I had worked in home services for a security company, a well-known one, for about 18 and a half years. This is where I learned sales, human resources, the corporate America, and then just really getting into the community and knowing how people live, how they act, what they do, you name it. I mean, I have an economics degree from the University of Texas, and if anybody knows about economics, it's all about people. It's all about relationships, why people buy what they do, how they do it, the equations that go along with it. It's all it's passionate for me. And so did home security for a long time, and I thought about, all right, what could I do that, beyond this, that I would have deep meaning and good purpose? What would be something that I could do besides home services that I could, help others? Something that no one knows about, something that everyone has to use, but they don't know what they're buying. And from my security company, I left to do pre-need funeral arrangements. It's definitely something that a lot of people just don't know about, and they have to spend a lot of money, and everyone's going to have to deal with this. And so I left ADT. It wasn't in my cards anymore to be with corporate America. I wanted to venture off and be more of the entrepreneurial type. And so I went to pre-need sales, and I learned a lot about people. And, when someone moves into a house, they're in a different realm in their lives as opposed to when usually that time when you're supposed to pass. So learning about the different, you know, the variety of the way people live, from, having kids to, or having a career, graduating college, having kids, taking care of parents, and then passing away, like all those little things that we have to do as human beings. And I wanted to learn more about the death side because no one knows about it and everyone has to do it. And so I was able to really just tap into our community and show a lot of different aspects of where people are at as far as caregiving. Every single one of us is going to have to care for someone that we love. It's usually a parent. A lot of people don't know about any of that stuff. So learning more about the funeral industry, caregiving industry, I was in the trenches with these people, with people in our community. I went to government housing, to million-dollar houses, and what I came up with is that no matter who you are, no matter what you do, every single one of us has a light inside of us. And Mark Twain says it, the two most important moments in a person's life is the moment that they're born and the moment they find out why. That was one of those. This career was a soul search for me. I wanted to find a way that I could have deep meaning and good purpose for our community. And that is how I found it. I found a lot of joy in the powerful love that I was able to give and connect through the flow of abundance and prosperity within our community. So helping these people go through the most vulnerable times in their life was something that I'm very proud of myself to have to go to not have to, but to go through that with them. It got to a point where after 2 years of doing that, I couldn't, it was so hard to see someone pass away. And so I was like, all right, God, what's next? And my husband happens to be a hard money lender. And so I was like, okay, how can we team up here? How can I continue the mission statement to flow with that abundance and prosperity as the energy flows through our community? How can I be a part of it and help it become better, help it be more involved and connected? You know, when you talk to corporate America, there's lots of efficiency, but very little love. And with private companies, there's lots of love. And a lot of times it's hard to get to the efficiency mode. And so I am able to listen and hear with my experiences the different things that people go through because of my network. After being with a company for so long and networking for so long, I have a huge basis of, you know, who's involved in our community, how they work, what they do, and I'm very curious to find out what drives them. What is their second most important day in their life, you know? Because that's the core of who we are, is the connectedness. And so it kind of goes into who I am. I'm always welcomed to whoever wants to come in my path of this flow of energy to help our community. And I always want to have deep meaning, good purpose, which everyone should. So that's kind of a little bit about me. These are my kids and my family. Dom is my hard money lender. He's with HouseMax USA. This is my mom. We have 4 kids. We are a blended family. So, you know, it's one thing when people make transactions with numbers and, you know, computers and stuff, but it's different when you see who's on the other end. So I just wanted to put a little touch to who we are. This is us and our crazy family. And this is them again. They are my life and my loves. To watch kids be so authentically joyous and just authentically themselves, it's really neat. They're little people and it's amazing. I love to speak in front of other people. I speak passion, truth, as you can tell, and just lots of love. And going through everything that I've gone through, you know, in my career as far as sales goes, from, you know, the ADT Security Services to Dignity Memorial, which is the funeral industry, I got an opportunity to open and start this new title office with Netco Title here in Austin, Texas. And so I have lots of experience, lots of education. I'm constantly learning, just like you, which is very admirable to continue to learn and continue to know and continue to connect in ways that you had no idea. And then all about work, you know, journey to oneself takes a lifetime. So life is what happens in between. All these little connections, you know, meeting you to go to somebody else, to connect to somebody else, to help people's dreams come true. That's the idea. Now, title. The glamorous world of title. So title insurance. All basically title really does is get down to the nitty gritty and find out what's up with the property. Like, that's basically it. Potential problems, liens, people that own them, people that say that they own something and they don't, people that never went through probate. There's all sorts of different things that are involved. I met this one gentleman who is a stager, because I meet everyone. And he's a stager, and he was explaining to me that title is very important, and a lot of people don't know why. For instance, for his example, he's a homeowner that purchased his house back in '92, went to refinance it in '98, found out that there was a lien from a prior vendor back in '92 that no one knew about and had slipped through the cracks. So he could not refinance that house until he paid that lien back, which meant that that refinance that was supposed to be a really special time ended up being one of those times. And we don't want that. Having a specific title company that does look through and go through and make sure all the checks and balances are there. And what I mean by that is, as soon as someone opens up a title, immediately what we do is we do something called a title commitment, and I'll get to that later too. So title commitments, what they basically do is kind of lay out the different schedules of what the property is like. If there are liens, who's going to certify this title policy just in case something goes bad or something happens. So That's basically how it starts to work.
Christina, also one word you mentioned there was probate. Could you kind of define what probate is and what it means in this context?
Yeah. Okay. So what happens is when someone passes away, whoever the name on the title of the house is, what they have to they have to transition that name over to someone else. So when someone passes away, in order for them to be able to sell the house, be able to find out what's going on with the house and kind of refinance or move on, or whatever they need to do, they have to go through the court system in order to, and it's called probate, where you spend thousands of dollars to basically say, okay, yes, someone owns this house, this is who it is, now you have the legal right to sell it. For instance, a lot of times, and in the death industry, I learned this a lot, is a lot of times when someone passes away, you'll notice that someone wrote on a piece of paper that says, I left my house to Billy Cortez. And unfortunately, unless you go through the court system to acknowledge that, yes, that is a legit piece of paper that says that they're there, the court has to appoint, yes, it's now Billy Cortez's house. That's kind of how probate works. It is so important to have a will. A lot of people think that, oh, I don't have any assets, I don't have anything, or I only have a house, or I only have a bank account. It's definitely a must to go through a will, because what happens is people end up spending thousands and thousands of dollars fighting over what's in the house, part of the house. There's a lot of different tales that go along with that. So always have a will, protect yourself, protect your family. As a blended family, it's even more critical to protect, because if, so to say, something happened to my partner and we're not married, then the family, like for instance, his kids may even take me to court so that I have to pay them for the half of the house that is owed to them, versus if he had just written a will that said Christina gets this house, and it's in there, then you're good. So that's the long route to probating. Does that help?
It does.
Yay. Okay. Awesome. Have you been in contact with people that have had to go through probate before? Have you been through that experience?
Yes, I've talked to people who've had to go through probate. I just thought it was something good to touch on, considering you kind of spoke about it a little bit, and it's part of the process.
Yes, yes. So definitely have a will so that everything can be nice and smooth when your family passes. When I did pre-arrangements, it's just that time. I mean, my mom, when my stepfather passed away, it's taken her a year to finish probate. A year and thousands of dollars, even if you have a will. So definitely get that in place. Awesome. The importance of title. So title uncovers individuals and businesses who are fraudulent. There's been instances where someone will bring their mistress to the title table, and they'll say that this is my spouse, and they'll sign that wife's name when really she's not the wife, and bam, that's where it becomes illegal and it's fraudulent and it's no bueno. So it's our job to make sure that the IDs are checked. It's our job to make sure that it's really them. It's our job to make sure that the wires are transferred over properly to the right people and the right places. And there are tons of scams going on right now. For instance, I have this one huge client that, let's see, his customers got an email from my boss that said, there's the information to transfer the funds, and it came from a totally different email address. And they almost sent $100,000 to some random person in the UK. So yes, a lot of these transactions are now verbal to help with that. But yeah, it's interesting how these scammers are out. So that's what that does. Also, the importance of title is surveys. Have you ever seen any of those 2020 specials where the neighbor just got got all crazy because they drew, they chopped off somebody's tree in their yard, but it was their tree, or all that jazz with neighbors. Having surveys looked over and ordered, and making sure that all the little ducks are in a row, really does help. That way there's no arguments later, everyone knows the lines. It could even be utility companies coming in trying to separate the line a little bit. That's where, when you have your documentation, it really helps. Title commitments. Okay, title commitments. So the benefit of going with a really good title company that can service you but also be there along the way is making sure that title commitments are out within a certain period of time. So as a lender, Erin, when you get that, I'm ready to refinance my house, and that whole process starts, you want to make sure that the title company that you pick is not going to hold on to your documentation or hold on to your title commitment, or not even do your title commitment for weeks and weeks to come. Right now during COVID, everything's a little bit slower, especially because of all the refinances that are going on. So, finding that company that can get the title commitment out and be there to help you. For hard money, it's a little different. You have to have someone there to go back and forth a lot. So finding that right hard money title company is really hard to find. And I've had some issues with that before. So having my spouse be a hard money lender, we've had some oh my gosh, is this going to be in time? Because certain counties are a little bit harder to get the process moving faster. They just, it's COVID time. Things are kind of weird, and we're not sure what's going to happen with certain things. So title commitment is important to have in a timely manner. That's basically it. So title commitments. Basically, a title commitment, all it is a written documentation that contains the terms under the title company that's willing to issue the title policy. So basically, it's just terms. That's it. Long story short, terms. And they break it down into A, B, C, D to keep it in order so that you know what's what and where's where. So when you get a title commitment back and it has, okay, A, Schedule A of the title commitment just defines that, just the basic stuff, the property stuff, and who's supposed to be on the title commitment, how much it's supposed to be, and that's where it'll go back and forth sometimes too with lenders, which, if someone decides, I want to do some renovations, and they add some renovations to their amount of the loan. So that's kind of where all that stuff can be changed up a little bit. Then there's Schedule B. When you see Schedule B on your actual title commitment, think of borders, boundaries. Basically, it's going to be the things that are not covered, number one, that are insured, and the different boundaries inside your property. So a lot of people will skip over B because it's definitely, the language is supposed to be pretty equal, pretty biased. So a lot of people just skip over it. It's just what are you talking about? So it's nice to have a good person that help connect with realtors to make sure they see schedules properly. Then Schedule C is more of a curative part. How are you going to cure this one to actually go through, this title policy to be covered, because it's where all the liens, all the fraudulent stuff. Yeah. This is the one that I'm sure Aaron usually has his eyeglasses super wide just to kind of make sure that nothing doesn't get by, because that's how you're able to see through. And then D is basically who underwrites it. It's nice to have a bigger company or a company that has several underwriters to go through. Well, that different corporate companies, the different corporate companies tend to have to stick by their rules. that's kind of what it does. Stick by the rules. That's how we're going to do it. It's very cookie cutter. And so what I've noticed is that some lenders will have a corporate type company, but they'll never go past underwriter. Our company has more. We have 4 underwriters, national underwriters that we go through, so that if one doesn't work, we can try to get the other one. So with the other one, see what the other one's at. That way we can figure out how to get the stuff to go through and who covers it or not. These are the schedules that we off of to make sure either get it to go through or it's pretty simple that way. This is our team in Austin. Melissa is my mentor and my manager. She was 25 years, has a mortgage as a realtor on the side. It just basically is in the middle of things so that, she's my go-to girl. One of our escrow officers kind of helps, connect dots and answer emails, make sure everything goes nice and smoothly. She's the one that most people will talk to get backed up or get stacked up. And then it's me. I'm more business development, so I help get the business. And basically, I am the marketing specialist. I'm the one that connects with the realtors and goes to the open house, is the one that is, in the field, help you make sure that you have cookies for your open house. Make sure that if you're ready to start, a training session, I want to help train other realtors, other leaders. I also connect people. As a person that loves the energy and the flow of abundance and prosperity, I connect people. So it's one of those things where someone says, I'm looking for this, I say, okay, well, I only refer to people I know, like, and absolutely trust. So it's definitely just want to help that flow. Do a lot of people don't even know the home equity conventional mortgage. Have you ever heard of that before, Erin? That's awesome. A lot of people just don't know the different reverse mortgages for people over 62. I'm a member of the National Association of Senior Advocates, so I help seniors with their title work to make sure that everything is legit, it's going through, they're not going to have any problems, and then also to make sure that their reverse mortgages go through and how it works and help explain things and all that jazz.
Sure. So could you kind of explain what a reverse mortgage is?
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Let's say I own a house. I own this house. I have about $100,000 in equity. I basically, and we'll say, usually it's for a reason. They decided that I'm 62 years old and I need to care for my husband. He needs, and if you know anything about caregiving, it's expensive. So they'll basically take out 60% of what that equity is, because you can only take a certain amount depending on your age. Take out that certain amount, and now you have $60,000 to use to help care for your husband, for my husband. Some people, what they do is they take that money out and they use it for investments. If they feel like that they're rich, house rich, and they need to put that investment somewhere else because it's diverse for diversification. Sometimes people do that. It just depends on what's going on. So that's a reverse mortgage. And home equity, conventional mortgage, what that is so to say, my house can sell for $200,000, but I want a bigger house and I'm 62. What I can do is buy a $300,000 house, only put down $180,000, sell this one for $200,000, keep $20,000 in my pocket, and never pay a mortgage loan payment again. Period. So now, with those two different things, the reverse mortgage and HECMs, what they do is if someone passes away, the person on the title that passes away, if the spouse is not on the title, then the spouse or the family members get 1 year to decide if they want to refinance, if they want to sell the house, whatever. And there's different guidelines as far as how much money they can get, the amount of percentage that they can take out of the equity. Like, there's certain things, it's a little more convoluted if I get into the specifics, but that's the gist of it. So I generally will help people through those things and hook up with reverse mortgage lenders. So yeah, and there's not a lot because it has a bad rap, but if you find the right person, it's really good. And then I also work with lots of realtors. Realtors are kind of, they're everywhere. And, working with my husband who's hard money, it's interesting to see how wholesale works and this works. And I've only started title since COVID. So I've learned quite a lot in the last couple of months. And I'm eager to learn more and help more. And then commercial. I like commercial too. That's good. And then a little bit about my company. We do the title commitment super fast. We are serving all 50 states, 25 years of experience behind us. And it's not me that looks at all of the documents, it's Melissa and Ivy. And then if we need more help, we bring in more Netco people, which is awesome. Remote online closings. It's what I've noticed is that very successful realtors, very successful mortgage lenders, wholesalers, you name it, they have power teams. They have people that are marketing for them basically and helping them along the way. And that's what I do. I help people along the way, the realtors and the lenders. My specialty is seniors and veterans. So I love to give back. I love to be a part of the National Association of Senior Advocates, and I love to help out Central Texas Veterans Commissions. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
All right.
Was that okay?
That was perfect. I enjoyed that.
All right, so let me undo this. All right, perfect. Awesome. So I hope that helped with title stuff. I hope it was amusing a little bit.
Yes, definitely. It was definitely pretty eye-opening because, title's kind of one of those things. It's definitely part of the equation, but, people don't want to talk about it. They don't know much about it. So it's great to get a good perspective on it.
And being part of the, you have to be licensed to be an escrow officer. You have to be licensed in certain counties. And for instance, there's the smaller counties. It costs a lot of money to have a license in each county. So a lot of times, smaller counties tend to take a lot longer to work with. You have to work with the vendor that's there in the location. So there's a lot of little legal, structures that have to, all the T's have to be crossed, all the lowercase J's dotted, all that good stuff.
Absolutely. So I know we kind of touched on it a bit, but could you maybe, kind of explain a bit of potential issues that could come up at title and then how they would be remediated?
Yes. Okay. So issues that can pop up in title. Oh man. Okay. So for instance, and this happened, I had, there's a couple things. One was the wiring that, could you imagine someone losing $100,000 and no one knows where it is? It's like Bitcoin. That would be that was number one. Another thing that happened is one of our escrow officers was going to do a closing for a client she thought was here in Austin, but really was in California, and it happens. Things like that happen. So we have to hurry up and correct it as fast as possible, send a notary out, close on time, things like that. There's another instance where I have a really amazing client that I received because he had been going with a no-fee service company, which awesome, right? That sounds good. A lot of them are overwhelmed with like refinances. They're overwhelmed with different things that were going on during COVID, and his company was overwhelmed. They had held on to a title commitment for 3 weeks when it needed to close in 4 weeks. And so we were able to grab the contracts, rush them within 24 hours and get all of them done so that he was okay. If he would have waited, there could have been extensions for the clients to have to pay from the lender, from the property. Like there's people lose their escrow, and if they lose escrow, their what is it? I totally forgot the name of that. You know, when they hold the money when, I had a brain fart. When they hold the money before you close on a house, just to make sure that
The earnest money.
earnest money, that's what it is. Oh my God, I was having a brain fart.
I wasn't
um,
sure if you're talking about something else.
yeah, so
Okay.
very generic. A title is all very generic. It's very simple, but it just sounds convoluted because there's all that legal jargon. So yes, earnest money. Like, what if? How would you feel if you lost the earnest money for somebody, because the title company that you chose to be with was just lagging behind because they had other clients that they thought were more of a priority. So just having, that window of opportunity to know that you have the right person with you. So that's kind of making sure that you find the right title company that helps you along the way. I tend to run into, since I am new to this, I'm never looking to be, those top producers, man, they have their stuff down. They know they know how to make things work. I'm not looking to mess up any loyalty that goes along with them. I just want to be a backup plan. And that way, for instance, if there's something that they can't do, it can't go through their corporate office for title, they have a backup plan. I already know how they work. I already know what they like, how they communicate. They already know us. They can trust us. And bam, it's just a win-win altogether. And that's another circumstance. I found another lender who has their trusted title. And he had a friend in Arizona who needed to refinance. And so he was having issues with the title company because they weren't in Arizona and they needed to do a cash out refinance, which means you have to be at a location that has notary. And so I was able to help him, even though he didn't go with my title company, help him hook him up with the right title company, or my location in Arizona. So that way they had a place for his client. And of course, the next deal he ended up giving to me. And so it's just that it's a flow of energy, of abundance and prosperity. That's kind of it in a nutshell, how it all is very simple, but at the same time, we're part of it. It's really cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of different moving pieces, to title, and it's kind of it can almost kind of seem overwhelming for someone who, maybe it's their first time hearing these words or dealing with these things.
Yes, yes. So that's awesome. Good stuff. Whew. I haven't talked that much in a long time, so thank you.
You take a breather.
hmm
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, in your instance as a lender, what do you see? What do you feel are important things that you look for in certain title companies?
Sure, absolutely. Well, actually, I guess to lead into that, could you explain what, we deal with opening title. So could you explain what opening title means in this process?
That's a great question. Okay, so as soon as someone decides, hey, I have a contract or I'm ready to sell this house or whatever's going on, they'll send over a couple different pieces of information to us. Usually, the address, so we can look up the title fees associated with the state taxes and just the different fees that are regulated. And then it goes into, the name of the full name of the person. So if it's Joe Smith, we'll run with it, but usually we'll pop up in our system a gazillion Joe Smiths that have felonies or whatever. And then it's like, all right, now we need his social. Now we need his date of birth. Those little extra things to make sure, okay, that's the Joe that we need to talk about. And that's kind of where it starts. From that point, that's when we start doing the title commitment and get it all together. And then from that point, we kind of wait till you guys, the lenders, give us, some updates, and that's where I usually contact my people and find out, hey, I have it on my schedule for us to close this Friday. Just want to make sure you guys are good. We're clear to close, and clear to close is our favorite thing to hear.
That's right.
Yes, it's like, yeah, it's awesome. And we want that for your clients. So when the clients actually come to our location, we're able to take pictures and talk to them and just see kind of what's going on and help build that rapport to give you guys a good name.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely a good part of the process as well. When dealing with title, obviously you cover the title commitment, opening title, and then what does it mean to have clear title if someone says clear title?
And that means that we pretty much scheduled to close. So either we, start printing things out, start getting things all lined, set up the notary, the uh, the notary person, remote closings wherever we need to go, or locations. We just kind of get everything in order so that way Friday at 2 o'clock, let's get this done. And then usually 3 days later is that's when it's funded. Um, so just because you close, sometimes it can take a while, depending on the bank or who's funding or if there was miscommunication, you name it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So can you maybe, I know you kind of ran through it, but just kind of, maybe from start to finish, just what title looks like. So, what would happen before title is involved?
Ooh, hmm. Let's see. Well, usually it's we'll say refinance. Um, Someone basically calls up a lender or wants to ask questions from me. But usually calls up a lender and says, "Hey, I need to get pre-qualified for refinance," or see if I'm, whatever that involves. Usually go with a lender. From that point, that's when the lender kind of opens it with us. And that's where we kind of start. We go with the processors. It's all behind closed doors so that you don't see anything. And then from that point, uh, title commitments out. We're going back and forth with different information, making sure wires are good, everything's cut and dry as far as the schedules go. People have different forms of ID, you name it. And then the lender usually says, "All right, we're good. It's, our underwriters have cleared it. How about yours?" And so our underwriters play like, and so it just, all the moving pieces come together at the very end. And that's where we have that closing documents, CDs, all together, and we wrap it up in a little bow, and then we have people sign it. If it's a sellers, we have it refinance. We have the same person anyway, so we just have them sign it, and that's pretty much it. As far as like realtors go, new purchases, pre-qualified first with a lender, and then go look for houses, and then that's when a contract happens. When a contract happens, that's when, bam, earnest money sent out. We come and pick it up, or yeah, we pick up the earnest money, give it to them. Like, it's just that moving part. So that's kind of how that works. And then the same thing, you guys, or they give us a clear to close from the lender. Realtor's good, everybody's good. Then we have them come out and sign and have some champagne or whatever, and enjoy it. So yeah, it's quite an experience. And it's always, just like when you see a child get really excited about buying, not buying, but getting a new toy. It's very similar. And you know how it is. Like, do you own your house, Aaron?
No.
Okay. Well, you have a car. So when you get something and you get so excited and so joyous, it's just a really good feeling to watch people have that just authentic joy. Like it is. There's something about being in that presence, that energy, just like a football stadium game when you're just hanging out and having a good time and that energy is flowing. That's what it feels like to me, and I love it. I want to help more people feel that way.
Absolutely. You're kind of playing your part, just the way everyone else is. Everyone's trying to, do what they can to make the process go as smoothly as possible.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Are there, is there anything that you'd like to say, maybe that you haven't already said or would just like to really hit home?
I don't think so. I mean, for the most part, people that visit with me, we do. We just go through the motions as far as like building a relationship, and I get to know the people that I work with. I want to help them any way I can, and that's kind of what I do. That's what I love. I'm all about powerful love.
All right. Very good. Very good. So, maybe someone has seen this video. They liked your presentation. They like what you had to say, or the services you have to offer. How do we get in touch with you? Where can we find you?
Yeah, so I'm at Suarez ATX. It's SuarezATX.com is my website. You're welcome to message me on Facebook. My phone number is 512-294-9343. And just send me a text, whatever. I usually will help start the conversation, make you feel very welcome, and help out whatever way I can.
Okay, absolutely, Christina. Yeah, you did an excellent job of not only kind of telling us what title is, opening title commitments, a lot of different things there, but kind of going through the process of how the impact you make on your clients, and I thought it was terrific. So thanks for coming on.
Excellent. Thanks for having me. Have a blessed night. Thanks, Aaron.
Absolutely, we'll see you soon.
Thanks. Goodbye.